with some of these live videos. We're always taking ideas. For those of you who catch this on the repeat. Sorry, my hair's a little crazy this morning. But I've been thinking people are kind of stuck at home, except, you can go. All right, sorry, maybe we had some technical difficulties there. But a great way to spend some of your social distancing time is just go out on a walk and explore your neighborhood. You can stay away from other people, but it's a nice sunny day out. It's a good day to go and explore, and I thought maybe this would be a good start to explore some of the cool buildings and places that you can find in your own neighborhoods here in Port Huron. And I thought this would be a great time to come talk about one of my favorite buildings. Is a building that I know everyone has seen here. Good morning. We've got a couple people joining us live now. For those of you just joining us, again, I'm Andrew Kircher with Port Huron Museums, the Community Engagement Manager. We're just kind of going on a walk because it's kind of nice out and nice and sunny. And I thought this would be a great chance to take a look at some pretty cool buildings around town. Now, one of the buildings that I want to talk about is a house that I'm sure we have all seen. This is a house on Military Street. This is 1820 Military. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this house in particular and a little bit about architecture in general around town. Now, one of the things that I always like to talk about, architecture is always interested me. My background is a degree in history, but also a degree in historic preservation with an emphasis on architecture. Now, the house here, a lot of people would describe as a Victorian house. And in fact, we are on Military Street. There are a lot of these homes that date to the 1880s and the 1890s. Some of these large homes here in town. Port Huron was undergoing quite a bit of growth during that time. And I thought, this would be a good time to get one of my pet peeves. Maybe we can ban it from the lexicon. One of the things I really don't like is when people talk about old houses, they talk about, well, that is a Victorian house. Now, I want to be upfront with all of you. When people say it's a Victorian house, it drives me crazy because Queen Victoria, who they're talking about, was queen from 1837 all the way until 1901. That is a huge gap of time. If you think about all of the changes that took place from 1837 to 1901, it was a time before steam trains and telegraphs and telephones and electricity, automobiles, all of those things changed during that time period. So it's pretty crazy to say, oh, it's Victorian, because what do you mean by that? Do you mean like the 1830s? Do you mean the 1860s? Do you mean the 1890s? 1901? All of those are technically Victorian. Think about it this way. So Queen Elizabeth II has been on the throne since 1952. Think about how much the world has changed since 1952. We definitely live in a different world. So it'd be crazy to refer to this entire chunk of time as like the Elizabethan era or Elizabeth II's era or the Neo-Elizabethan era. You wouldn't want to do that. So let's be a little more technical. Now, I mentioned, this is, a lot of people would call this a Victorian house. Better term would probably be a Queen Anne style house, because there are a lot of different styles of homes that you see. This is a great example of a Queen Anne house. I'll give you one more piece of architectural trivia. So there's lots going on in this house. We can make a lot of videos. We can make a lot of videos about all the homes here on Military, some of the other public buildings, and we'll get to that. I think we're going to have a lot of time. But here's one of the cool things that you can impress your friends with. The difference between a turret and a tower. So a turret, this house actually has both. On the right, you'll see a turret. See how it's kind of that round piece that starts on the second floor, juts up, it's got kind of a little onion dome on top. That is a turret because it doesn't go all the way to the ground. Whereas the round tower on the left there, that is a tower. These are kind of a hallmark of Queen Anne buildings. In fact, we've got another one just a couple of houses down. Same kind of idea. These were really popular. Queen Anne homes are known for a lot of things. They're known for being kind of asymmetrical. They're known for having these large gables. It's the big triangle there that face the front of the house. And let's figure out, is this a turret or a tower? I would say that that is a tower, because you notice this rounded piece, sorry, the sun's right in the way. Let's see if we can position ourselves. There we go. So you can see this tower goes all the way to the ground. So there's a fun architectural term. I would encourage everybody, you know, on a nice day like today, it's a great day to walk out inside your neighborhood. Just take a look at some of the buildings that you see. You take a look at some of the houses, some of the historic commercial buildings. Port Huron is lousy with them. We've got so many cool buildings. I think that a lot of people, you know, might not appreciate them, and usually walking by them is a great chance to take a look at some of those historic buildings in a way that you might not notice as well. And we've got all sorts of different eras of buildings and styles of buildings, and I'm hoping if people like this video, maybe we'll continue this and talk a little bit about some of the other styles that you can see around town and buildings that we've looked at for years and years. Those of us who have lived here, maybe visitors, these are some of the first time that they're going to see there's buildings. We've got another one just a little further down the road here. I've just been walking north on Military. This is one I really like because it's got one of my favorite kind of architectural terms. This house is a little more of like an arts and crafts kind of a bungalow. You might say that it has bungaloid features, and it's kind of a $10 word to describe a couple of different things going on with it, but maybe we'll do a more in-depth video on that a little bit later. Hi Lisa, thanks. I'm glad you enjoy this. So if this is something you're interested in, you've got a house maybe you want to know more about, or a building you want to know more about, send me a message. This is something we can, you know, throw it up in the comments. Hi Deanna, I see you're from Tennessee. Glad to see you can virtually come back home at the very least and see some of these buildings. Now we've got, here's another couple cool ones, another Queen Anne. This is another tower for sure. You can see that that tower there goes all the way down. Another feature you see in a lot of Queen Anne homes is a big porch. This one's got a wraparound porch that goes outside. These were really popular for entertaining lots of people. Now, to the right of that, we've got a home. This is a little more like a kind of a classical revival. Not quite a Greek revival, might be a little bit later. Of course, all of these homes you can do a little bit of research on. And not all buildings are quite, you know, as high a style. We started with that Jenkinson house just because it was such a high style building. There's two more cool looking Queen Anne buildings up there next to the atrium. All right, well, so hopefully people have enjoyed. This was just, again, one block on Military Street, just some of the cool features, and I plan on keeping to do this up. Like I said, if you've got requests, throw them in the comments. We'll visit other sites. It's a great day to go for a walk. Now, if you're inside, I see my grandma said good morning. Good morning, Grandma. I'm glad to see you watching. Now, if you are inside and you're looking for something to do and you want to support these videos, you want to see more of this, head on over to the Port Huron Museum's website, phmuseum.org. Just like everybody else, so many businesses, we've really felt the financial pinch like so many other places. And we know that once this is all over, and of course it will end, we'll want you all to visit the Port Huron Museums and some of the most historic sites in the county. We've got the Fort Gratiot Light Station. That's, of course, the oldest single building in the county, the oldest lighthouse in the state. We also have the Fort Gratiot Hospital building right there. That's the oldest wooden structure in town. Sorry, I'm squinting a little bit. It is a very bright day out, as you can see. But head on over to that website. One of the things you can do right now, if you want to help out the museum and you want to kind of plan for better days ahead, you can get your tickets to our sites right now. It would really help the museum out. You can get a membership. We're a little closer to these homes. Now, as we're walking back on the other side, you can see some cool pieces there. Those little guys that look kind of like teeth. So this triangle up here is called a pediment. And those little guys are called dentals because they look like teeth. So how's that? There's your bonus architectural term for the day. Well, like I was saying, you can get tickets to our sites or a membership to the museum, and it will be good for a full year from when we're able to reopen. And we hope it'll be soon, but obviously we want to be safe. We want to save lives. That's why we are all sacrificing, kind of as a country, as a society, as a world right now, to save lives. So that's pretty cool. It's a really neat concept to think about when you look at it that way. So even though we're socially distant, it's still a great day to go out and explore and see some of the history in your own backyard. And the best part about it, it's free. Nobody's going to charge you to walk down the street and take a look at some of these buildings. You know, we're right by the Davidson House. This is another great, this one's kind of got a mix of elements here. It's definitely got that Queen Anne symmetry. It's got some aspects of shingle style, where you can see, especially on that second floor, all those shingles. It's really obvious on the back side of the building too. So that's one of the cool things about architecture, is there is a lot to see. I always like this building because it's got all these kind of beautiful cedar looking trees right here in the front, and it's like a mini forest. This building, I think a lot of people refer to as the castle. In fact, it was Port Huron Business College for a long time in the 1950s and the 1960s, because some of these other larger homes in the area, a lot of them have been turned into apartments, like this guy, and they'd be turned into apartments, and some of the students that went to school there boarded at these homes in this neighborhood. So again, we've walked just 2 blocks north and 2 blocks south just to have this little chat. So hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. And again, if you want to see more, throw some questions in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, or taking suggestions. And again, visit us online. Throw some support our way if you can. And we will talk to you later. All right. Goodbye.